Hello, everyone. Welcome. Gift Amos. Nice to see you. Welcome. London TJ. What a name. Is that your name, London? That's interesting. Shinwe. Welcome. Oyeronke. Welcome. Orenuga. Welcome. Tuli. Nira. Welcome. Jacob Sale. Jake Oke. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Joy, Michael, Ezinwa, Ragokome, Tony, Olabayo, Mrs. Abiola is here, Fumi Adewuse, Loweth, Mali. Well, this is another day. Today we're supposed to have Apostle from Dublin. It's nice to see you. Okay, we are expecting today I'm going to have a discussion. I'm going to be having a discussion and an interview with a guest, but she's living in London and she seems to be running a bit late. So I'm going to start out with you today, and from there she will catch up with us. So what we have going is we're going to be talking today and doing review of the teachings that I did on the difference between men and female, men and women, the difference between men and women. So she's going to be coming to analyze that for us and with us. But meanwhile, I want to use this opportunity to talk to all of you about the mentorship program. So if you have not yet registered for the mentorship program, it's started already, and we have actually, maybe we have actually finished getting the second class, but we've finished the first class for sure. So the first group is we're already through with the first group, and now we are finishing with the second group. So we have the first group of people who are in mentorship class have finished their classes. I mean, they are all together, we all got a number there. And then the second group already also, I think the second group also is, we probably finish also the number that we needed for that one as well. And so maybe we might need to start the third group soon, but I will find out if we have finished with the second group yet. If not, then we could start all over again with the third group, maybe next month or after the HMT. And also for those people who want to come for the HMT, HMT is starting from the 1st of April to the 8th of April. For the 1st of April. Okay, somebody is asking, how do you get involved with the mentorship? It's easy. You just go to my blog, sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. That is www.sundayadelajablog, all one word, sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. And then for those of you who are coming or who plan to come for the HMT, it's still the same thing. Go to the blog, sundayadelajablog.com/visit, like you are visiting, VISIT, visit. So that's how you get to be for the HMT. You join the HMT. Now, if you want your children to come for the youth HMT, or the young adults HMT, you can also fill out the form on the blog by going to sundayadelajablog.com/visit. You will see the form there, both to be filled out for this coming up HMT and for the other HMTs in the future, for the HMT in summer and for the HMT in November. So you could always fill out the form for any of the HMTs there, and including the HMT for the children. You could also get in touch with Idorein Charles. Idorein Charles, she is coordinating, Idorein Charles, she is coordinating the HMT for children or for kids or for teenagers. So if you get in touch with her, she will be able to send the information, she will be able to get your information across to us. So please go ahead and get in touch with her. She's on now, Idorein Charles. She's on. You could get in touch with her after the program. Get in touch with her personally or privately. And so your children could come. It's going to be a life-changing. It's probably going to be the most important legacy you'll be able to give to your children, because if your children get the message from this HMT, is going to probably be, they are going to be unique. They are going to be probably some of the most, the few number of people in the world that will be having access to that kind of information. So if you have your children and you are interested in them growing up to become unique children and to become grown-up adults, so that they will not make the mistake that you have made, it's better to connect them to HMT for the youth, which is coming up in, I think it's probably going to be in August. So we'll be expecting you to fill out the form or to get in touch with Idorein Charles. And concerning the upcoming HMT right now, that one you should already be getting your ticket or getting your visa if you need visa. But for most people, if you have a European passport, you will not need visa to come to the Ukraine. Same thing if you have a passport for America, you will not need a visa to come to Ukraine. You could also, if you also have passport for, I think, Japan and Australia, you will also not have, you will not need to, you will not need a visa to come over here. So yeah, that's it. And we still need distributors for the books. So if you feel that you want to distribute the books, you can distribute the books where you are. I will be happy to, consider you. Only that you will need to write to dssbooks@gmail.com, dssbooks@gmail.com. If you write to us, we'll be able to get that together as well. Okay, it's like our guest is here for today. Let me see. Trying to fix it here. Okay. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello, Pastor Sunday. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. It's like I really put it. We probably had a lot of pressure on you today, huh?
Yeah, I'm still a bit nervous as well, but it's okay, sir.
Well, thank God for our audience. Our audience is a big patience.
So, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your patience. I tried to get in as quickly as possible.
Yeah, somehow it's like your voice is sounding as if you are talking from
Like it's echoing?
Like from a vacuum or something.
Is it echoing?
Do you have headphone or something like that? If not,
Okay.
maybe we could.
Let me try my headphones. I'm not very sure if it will work, but I can try it.
Okay.
Is it any better now? It's still not better.
It's better a bit, I think. But if you try the headphone or earphone rather.
I haven't used the headphone. Oh, sorry. It's not the one that I can use on my laptop. I'm sorry. I do apologize. The other option would be that I can read through on my phone, and we can see if that will work better.
No, I think it's okay. Maybe you need to come closer or to...
Okay. I'm projecting my voice.
Yeah, I think it's not bad. It's not. I think we can still manage it.
Okay,
so welcome.
Well, good evening, sir. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, DSA family.
Yeah, so now, what is the motivation for you to want to do the review on this particular subject?
Okay. Well, basically, as a woman, growing up in an African home, I think for me, it's always been, it's given me the opportunity to see and to experience and to sort of study. I want to say my lifetime itself has been a life of research. But I think there's been a lot of things in the media recently between 2016, 2017, 2018. Not that they've not been happening from years ago, but it's really, every day we grow every day. And as I grew, I think I became more wiser. As we grow every day, we experience, we see things every day that also that moves us. So I think part of my growth, one of the things that I experienced, one of the things that moved me was my experiences as well as the experiences of the women in our society. That's including white women, black women, Asian women, all kinds of women. I was reading an article once written by a lady called Katie McCoy. She's an assistant professor of theology in women's studies. She said that women are no longer seen as a person. Women are now seen and now regarded as a product. So, and nothing really broke my heart. So women have become slaves, and the idea that, their power and all that they amount to is measured by their sexuality. So I was just wondering now, one of the things that, that really, really made me or pushed me or helped me to be comfortable in my own self over time was watching your program, the differences between men and women. And that was one of the most, influential moment of my life at the time. Considering what I was going through at the time, seeing your program on differences between men and women really gave me a lot of confidence and really gave me a mindset that was precious to God. And you get a lot of talk shows. You get to watch a lot of shows every day about like pastors who talk about a lot of women program, like women retreats, but you don't see a lot of men. When you get whenever everyone's speaking, they speak to the woman more, but you don't get a lot of any pastor. You don't get a lot, especially a male pastor who wants to talk to the men about the women, the differences between men and women, so that we can understand each other, because both natures need esteem. Both natures need to be esteemed. And I think for me, watching you really helped me to understand the glory, the hidden fundamental, these things that, should have been taught in school, that, they were not taught, and it really helped me to understand the differences that, okay, there was a lot of differences, and the differences obviously has led to people like, people that like say that they are what's it called? There's women that are feminist, exactly, Pastor. And really, your understanding or going through your messages or following through the whole series, the difference between men and women, really helped me to understand that what we need is not actually feminism, equality. It's acceptance. We all need to accept each other for what in our own skin. It can't be equality. It can't be equality because men are different from women. The perception, the mindset is different. The way that they see things is different. And the way the woman is, our emotions, our feelings, the things that are going on inside of her needs to be understood by the world. And if the world doesn't understand that, some men would say, it's so funny because women have been saying that from generations. So, I've seen a scenario where a woman would say, I need to be respected, and the man would understand and interpret that as you want to be equal. But the woman is not saying, I want to be equal. She's saying, I want to be understood by you. I need you to understand me. I need you to pay attention to what I'm saying. And, listening to you really helped me to, I wish I could just carry all the men in the world and just bring them and sit them down, put it in front of them, like, watch. You must not leave this place until you have finished watching, this video. Every man wants the idea of this perfect woman. But the thing is, the perfect woman doesn't just happen. It's something that you have to sort of work to get, Are you up for the task? Are you prepared to take the task? The woman, right from the time that she's born, she's always brought up with this mentality that you are already a wife material. Now, are men being brought up to handle that? Are they being, because, are they being also, whilst the woman is being trained, it's good. But is the man also getting the training that he needs? That when he gets this well-prepared housemaid, is it ready to, because that's why I see it sometimes, the sort of the training is like, are you really treating them to become a person, or are you treating them to become an housemaid, a slave? And, when the woman is getting all this training, what training is out there for the men? What's there, what's being taught to them? And, so going through your training, Pastor, really, really helped me to just understand there was a lot of things that I had in mind at the time, and it really, really opened my eyes out to a lot of things around me. I remember speaking to a colleague at work. She's a white lady. She was saying to me that she left the house and she dried some clothes and she asked her husband to help her out. She went back home. The clothes were still there. The guy was, everything was messy, and she was really upset that day. She was actually in tears. She was crying, and I really felt the pain in my heart. And you can clearly see that something is not wrong, is not right in most of these homes. And I just felt like, Pastor, I love your that series so much. I feel like it's one of your best series. I know when you say you have like 1 million books and 1 million series, Pastor, that's still your best series, because that is really what the world needs. We need to learn to get along in this world. Like, men need to learn to get along. Women, one of the biggest saying today in the social media platform is that men are scums. And women as scums, everybody's hating on each other. Men as scums, women as scums.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it just means like everyone's hating on each other. So men are saying, this woman, the women are not nice. Women are behaving this way. They don't understand the logic behind. And the women are going out there saying, men are this way. Men are not treating us right. And I feel, not because either of them are scums, it's just because none of them really has built the value system. Basically, not the women. I feel like the women should along, but personally, I feel like the men, in my aspect, it's just that value is missing. And when the value system is missing from scratch, from when they're a child, like I was saying, some of your preaching, Pastor, it should be incorporated into primary schools. Like everyone should be brought up to appreciate their own gender. Pastor, do you know that there's some people that literally want to change their sex just so they can experience like the respect or the mistreatment? Like some men want to say, I want to become a woman so I can understand the mistreatment, so that what are women really feeling? Or, and women want to change the men so they can understand this legit power, this they want to promote themselves to a place of power. You see, some women want to they change their body, they start walking. It's like a psychological impact. You immediately think to yourself that I'm a man now. And there's this ego and there's this pride that comes with you being a man. There's this sort of timidity and fear that comes, or, this thing that comes with being, and that needs to go. That needs to go, because everybody needs to learn to sort of love themselves in their gender. So for me, it was just like it was like a cry out to mothers, new mothers, and it really, really was touching my heart. Everything I watched on TV. I remember watching a lady, a poet in Nigeria. I think she's about 60 something years old. I don't even know her name. I was at home. I was watching the TV. I should have caught her name, but she was saying that she has 3 daughters, and in our own family, and these daughters, people look at them and say, oh, she's not a woman because she didn't have a son. And there's this stigma that, okay, women are not good enough, women are not enough, and it really breaks my heart to see that. You've seen it from generations to generation. And literally she was saying that if anybody, men have praised themselves for years, to be categorized and to be seen as this mini gods. And she was saying that if anybody amongst the two were to be gods, obviously it will be the woman who sheds blood by bringing life to this world, that birthed the male child, not the man, and for her, for me, it was like, wow, literally was like one of those moments. But what I understood is that whilst the male figure has been, as really sort of brought in so much, there's also good in that. There's so much good that they can do. I remember one day I was speaking to a lady that I would consider like successful lady. For me, she's successful. And, that's what I would define it as. She was saying to me, I remember asking her that, how did you become so successful? And I was younger then, and she said to me that she had a lot of men in her life that encouraged her. She didn't say, oh, I had a lot of women or I watched women. She said the first thing she said to me was, I had a lot of men in my life that encouraged me. That really made me understand that there's so much that the man can do. The impact, not to even talk about, now we're not bringing family into it. We're just talking about the role of a man. That means that both of these roles can encourage each other. That means that both of the values need to be sort of blended to encourage each other. So now I wanted to talk today about some misconceptions and some of the things that I learned about from watching the differences between men and women. That's what's motivated me, Pastor.
First of all,
yes, sir.
Where is this message? Because I sometimes go and I take a look at the messages that are most watched.
Yes, sir.
You'll be surprised to discover that this series is now called Family Series. It's all united into one now.
Oh, wow. Okay, so if you go on YouTube and you type the differences between men and women, so just type Sunday Adelaja, the differences between men and women, you can watch, I believe the specific ones I would tell anyone to go and watch is the ones that are dated from the 8th of November 2016 and watch them onwards.
From the 7th of November.
From the 7th of November and watch them onwards, and you'll be seriously blessed. And for me now, it has now become, if I'm going to marry someone tomorrow, I promise myself before I do, I'm going to make sure that person sits down and watch the whole entire series. Like, I'm not even playing, like, everything, whoever it is, we can watch it together, I don't care, but that person needs to watch it. And I feel like that's because it really wakes you up. And
we don't need your hands to eat the table.
Sorry, Pastor. I realized that and I stopped. As soon as I realized what I was doing, I was like, it will obviously make the sound. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, so I'd appreciate, I'd really encourage everybody that's in courtship, because what people don't understand is what Pastor Sunday has put together, is what marriage counselors have been looking for from generations to generation. They have been doing research. They have been doing, for me, it's like, if anyone comes to me and says, oh, we are getting married, I'll just put on the video, like, watch. If I'm a marriage counselor, I'll just put on every marriage counseling session, they'll watch a video. That's it. I'm not going to bother wasting my speed or trying to emphasize. No, it's nothing to emphasize. Everything you need, personal experiences, people sharing opinion, experiences that they've gone through or that other people around them I've gone through. You even touched up on divorce, which is something that even the Bible itself doesn't really talk about. Divorce is something that is so sensitive. People just go like, and God hates divorce, and then just shun that side. But you helped people understand divorce. God hates it, but God does not forbid it. God is not happy about it because of the heartbreak, because of the effects on the women, on the men. For example, one of the things that was mentioned on the show was that women, often, like a woman can break up with a man 20 years from now, she will still be talking about it. She will still be thinking about it. 20, it's so funny. And some pastors will even preach about it in church. They'll be like, somebody offended you 10 years ago. They're still thinking. They're using it to insult you. But the thing is, most of these pastors, they're mostly men that say these things because they don't understand the feeling that the woman is feeling that is making her hold something, a grudge in her heart for 20 years. Obviously, it's not anybody's desire that you hold somebody in your heart for 20 years. But the thing is, they don't understand. There's emotions, there's feelings, there are deep thoughts. These things like, there's so much more that's going on in the minds that's causing it to linger in the heart of somebody for so long. And it just amazes me that if you touch on divorce, why it shouldn't happen, and you also help the men understand the role that they have to play. If someone's saying, I'm a man, you have to be ready. You have to be ready to dedicate your entire life. I've always thought to myself that as an African born in a Christian raised the African Christian decorum, talking about like more things like gender equality, respect for women. Religious people will immediately think, this child is But for me, I don't. They'll probably even class me as a devil's advocate. They'll be like, this one is a this devil. You are supposed to respect your husband, but no one's talking about not respecting your husband or respecting. You should respect every individual. That's what I'm talking about. Everyone deserves respect. Men deserve respect. Women deserves respect. Every individual in this world deserves respect. It's not about the men. And men go about with this feeling that and for some times I've been thinking about that. What is the reason? What's the reason why the female child must always be the one to tailor herself to the character of the male? Why should be the one that's being trained all the time? Why should one that every time you go into an African home is the girl that run up and down? She's literally become an housemaid, even in our own father's house. And the woman that's seen as maybe she's not like that. They class her as a bad. There's this tag, and there's this. Regardless of how amazing you are in this world, there's this tag that will always follow you around.
So the way you go to my YouTube page,
yes, sir,
is by putting my name on YouTube search, yes, and then putting the topic that you want.
Yes,
that is a good way. But why? Yeah, I also want to tell everybody that's watching us that the way I go to it is because I might not even be looking for a specific topic. So you might not be looking for a specific topic, but just to go and explore the the YouTube page also is important. So what I would normally do is that I just go to, first of all, I'm subscribed to my own page. But yes, what I do is I go to YouTube, then look for Sunday Adelaja Official. So on Sunday Adelaja Official, then I go to the home page. From Sunday Adelaja Official, I go to the home page. Now, in the home page, somebody is asking for the volume. Okay, my volume doesn't compare to yours because yours is.
Sorry, Master. Anyway, project.
Yes. So I go to YouTube page. I go to home page. Now, in the home page, you see everything immediately. You see all the topics, all the series from top to the bottom. There are so many different ones there. So what I would let people know is that there is this series, is series number 12, and it's called the Family Series right now. And that Family Series is starting actually with the particular part that Elizabeth is talking about. Because it's starting with the law of, why are we different, or the differences between a man and a woman. And that all starts from, from number 1 to 16. Number 1 to 16. So if you go to that page, the Family Series, you will see from number 1 to 16 are those ones that we are talking about right now that we are reviewing. After that one, you have another one which is called What Men Must Know About Women. And then what every lady must know before she gets married. And all kind of series are inside there anyway. So, but unfortunately, do you know that people have not discovered this series? They go to other things like Calling, and some people say it's the Calling series that is the best. Some people say it's the Truth series that's the best. Some people think that it is the the Thinking series that's the best. Some people think it's the Prayer series that's the best. Some people think that it is the Conversion series that is the best, the Time series, the Faith series. So many people have different opinion. But yes, I'm very happy to hear from you as a young lady saying that the family series, because normally I would think that it is the mothers and the fathers and the married people who might be seeing that as important. But it's good to see a young lady going to explore the family series and actually saying, okay, somebody else is saying it's the Kingdom series that's the best. Well, but you believe that this is the best. What are the things that really stood out for you the first time you began to listen to it? What are the things that, that first of all stunned you or impressed you or surprised you that made it to be your favorite?
Okay, Pastor, like I said, everyone is saying now that series are the best. Go and watch this one. That's all I can say. I'll keep my mouth shut. But the thing is, I think with me, it's always been a yearning, like a burning, a desire, a passion of mine since I've been young, since I was a kid. So for as long as I can remember, it's always been one of those times when we're watching TV and I'm like, why is Nollywood saying that about women? And I'm fighting with the show. My dad is like, or my family, they're like, calm down, like, relax. And you're like, no, but why is that woman getting kicked out of her house? But they got married. But, she should be getting where's the respect for the women? For me, it's always been fight for the women. It's always been, this is not right. But for some reason, nobody seemed to see anything wrong. We watch the movie, we laugh, we go. But the thing is, we don't understand that there's a psychological impact. The thing is, you might be watching it just for entertainment, but there's no way. Someone said that you become the person that you follow. You become the product of, even if you're just serving a pastor, you become a version of that pastor. You become the person that you listen to. So whatever you're taking in, you're becoming that. We may not even know that we're taking that in. So in that scenario, for me, it's always been, even though we're just watching them for entertainment and we laugh, and people always be like, calm down. But I've been calmed down since I was like 5, 6, 7. How old do I need to be? Is it when I'm in the grave that I'll need to start speaking out that, something is wrong here? It's just so funny because, Pastor, I think the thing that stood out for me was the fact that I was looking for something and I found what I was looking for. But I found more I was looking for. I found, in fact, things I'm a woman, Pastor, and I didn't even know these things about myself. Like, I found things I came to realize, and obviously it means that you've always known that something is wrong about, but then you just shed light on them. For example, like the wrong notion that people have about women, that women are married, that people that sorry, Pastor, I just lost my train of thought, sorry. That a silent woman, for example, a silent woman is a better version, is a better woman, is a more sexy woman. A woman that speaks is regarded as, she's not acting ladylike. People expect you to be calm. This thing opened me up to understanding that we have been stigmatized for so long, and we are even learning to embrace it, Pastor. We're learning to embrace the stigma. Like, people call you to be like, but for a lady, you shouldn't talk like this, shouldn't be like this, and women are, we've been plagued for so long. I think it's one of the things that one of the lady, Chris, I think her name is Obimbe, on the show, she mentioned that women have been plagued for so long because of the church, because of culture. Even in church, when a woman speaks out, they'll be like, a silent woman is more preferred. Like, look at the teachings of Apostle Paul. Like, he was always like, women should be more silent. And I realized, Pastor, that it's a foundational thing right from time. Now, look at this one example that I always use is the example of the men that stood to stone the woman that committed adultery. Like, where was the man? I think the thing for me was the fact that they did is secret, but they brought her, exposed her to the public. Like, what makes her any less better than him? They committed adultery. It wasn't a one woman sin. It wasn't a one man sin. It's a two people sin. Where was the other party? But God always proved, even in the midst of it all, he always proved that I was on the side of a woman. God was always trying to protect the woman. I always saw signs that God wanted his women protected. He didn't want them abused. He wanted them to be protected. And for me, that really, really stood up for me. It really, really was an eye-opener. Like, that men don't understand a lot of things about women. Now, I'm going to say a lot of things today about some of the things that men do not know about women that I learned from the show as well. So basically, one of the major things that I learned was that when you mentioned that a woman needs to speak 20,000 words in a day. You know, for me, it's like, whoa. I mean, who's she going to be speaking to? Like, please is going to listen. Your life after you said that a woman needs to speak 20,000 words in a day. And for you said it's not even just because she wants to talk. She wants to, but it's not because of she's being mean. It's a nature. Like, it's a release system for her. For her, it's like therapy. It's therapeutic. A woman wants you to, and a woman expects that because she's like that. She's made like that. She's expecting that you come back from work and sit down and speak 20,000 words. She doesn't want to speak 20,000 words, and you just sit down there. You have to have that communication with her. And for me, it was like 20,000 words. And you were saying that if she doesn't speak to her husband, or she doesn't have a man to speak to, then she must find somebody to speak to. And, there must be an atmosphere. If you make she needs to join a book club so that she can be doing book reviews, sit down somewhere and be talking every day, but women must speak. And also, you also pointed out that a woman has an acute need to be heard. Like, everything that happens to her in a day, she's experiencing everything. Like, it's going through her. Like, somebody stepped on her toe by accident at work. She's thinking, let's not use that example. Maybe something really gravitational, or something is extremely, or maybe she forgot a sweater at home today, and she's at work and she's cold.
She looked at herself in the mirror, for example.
Yes, Pastor. Like, she's feeling something insecure that, okay, maybe this clothes that I'm wearing is I should have used a scarf. I should have remembered, I forgot my scarf. Oh my God, and that thing, because she knows that scarf will complement the dress. She knows that a lot of things, would make sense if she just doesn't feel complete. She wants to come home and tell you about it. But for men, they don't think that's a big deal. They just think, what the hell? She talks too much. Like, but the thing is not that she talks too much. And one of the things that really baffled me when I was watching it and listening, Pastor, is the fact that I understood something very trivial. If a man fails to listen to a woman or to embrace her nature, Pastor, it just shows it's a disrespect to God. Because God made her that way. That was something that you pointed out. I said, God made her that way. It didn't make her to become like you. So you can't make her. Some people wouldn't go as far and be like, oh, boy, you should be able to manage yourself. You should change. But the thing is, women have been managing themselves. They've been changing who they are. That's why that lady I was just speaking about now, she said that women have become a product. We're no longer an individual. We're not a personality. We're a product. We are, and the most beautiful and most powerful assets that most women have now is their sexuality. They don't even know who they are. Because we've not been brought up with the mindset that you need to go after a purpose. And, and for me, if you don't allow a woman to express herself, you said that you are not respecting her. That was one of the things that you also broke, you mentioned on the program. Okay, so sometimes men can often be like, and also the process to the 20,000 words is not just it might just be one thing. You said that men often speak, and one of the things I want people to put in mind is tomorrow is Women's Day. So let's celebrate our women, okay? Women's Day. So I'm just pointing out. So women, yes, this is for us. Okay, so basically, when a woman is talking sometimes, yeah. But when men talk, you say, Pastor, men talk to come to pass across information. They just want to tell you that this is what's wrong, that's it, or that thing is broken. But a woman, and then you showed us a picture, Pastor. I'm going to try and look at that picture. And the picture that you showed us, you said in that picture that a woman, it was a single line. So a man is having a call with another man on the phone, and all it is just a single line. It's just dot to dot. And then let me just expand it, Pastor, so that we can see. It's this picture over here. I don't know if you can see it. So it's the dot to dot, and then the woman at the wire circles.
Yeah.
Yes, and so the woman isn't. When the woman's having a conversation, there's circles. Women don't speak because they want to pass across information. There's no point. So men will like, get to the point. What is the point of this conversation? But the woman needs to unravel. There's a lot of things that needs to be unraveled. And if you were saying that it's a lot of circles and different circles, but then ladies on the show, I believe it was Caroline and some of the ladies on the show, they mentioned that it's not circles. They're not separate. It's one line. It's one line that is conjoined into different circles. Like, it's just one line. The man is always one line. Although, the woman needs to go around the book. That's why sometimes, myself included, if someone is talking to me on the phone now, and the person is putting pressure on me or I'm stressed a little bit, sometimes I even forget what I want to say. Because you're not allowing me to unravel. I need to unravel. When I finish unraveling, then you understand what I'm trying to say. If you're not allowing me to unravel, you'll be thinking, oh, she's talking too much. She's talking too much. When I need to unravel. I need to remove all this unraveling. And you mentioned it as well, that sometimes men exaggerate because they want to look cool. They want you to get to the point, and they lack this complex feelings that, that women are feeling. Men don't have these feelings, these complex feelings that women have of what's going on, because what she's communicating to you is not just words. She's not speaking so that she can communicate information to you. She's communicating feelings. Feelings are not just one thing. She's communicating emotions. She's communicating so many things. And for me, it just really, really made me understand that that's why sometimes they'll be like, what she even saying? And they get upset. They get upset because they don't understand. And no matter how much you pour, men will still be wondering at the end, what is the point? What's she trying to say? What is she saying? Why can't you just get to the point? And you're like, but I'm trying to get somewhere. If you just let me finish what I'm trying to say. And that's what is called communication. It is not passing. Communication is when we actually can listen and we can pick the feelings and we can pick the emotions and we can pick. That's why eye contact is essential, which is another thing that I picked up from the messages. Eye contact. When a woman is talking to somebody, like she wants to look into their eyes, she knows that by looking into your eyes, I can trust you. You're listening, you're hearing me, you're paying attention to what I'm saying. But most men, and that's why one of the examples that was used on the show was that some men, they would, maybe if a woman's talking and you start doing something, the woman will be like, wait, what are you doing? I'm talking to you. Why are you doing something else when I'm talking to you? But it's so funny because women, when a man is talking to us, we can do so many things. But for us, we define trust. We define trust by eye contact, which is also another point I was going to make, that women don't just talk to anybody. That's why sometimes, which is another show thing I learned on the show, that women don't just talk to anybody, which is something I learned about myself. I can be in a place and just keep quiet, genuinely, throughout. But when I built trust in my heart for that person, I can literally pour out everything. And once I know that I can trust this person, but sometimes I become receptive as well. I will hold back because I feel like, this trust is breaking, or maybe because what I thought, this person is not hearing you. That trust is not built properly. Or something is wrong. This person is not hearing, so you hold back. And women shouldn't be like that. So when you allow a woman talk, it's like you're allowing her pour out poison. She's pouring it out so that she can feel, thank God. It's like medicine for her. She wants to pour everything out so that she can feel healed. But when some women will hold you all in, and you're not allowing them, it's really, really. That's why cancerous cells form easily in women. Even me, I've noticed for example, it's a mental thing. Like what I was saying about forgetting. If I feel like I'm being stressed, my brain rejects information. Just start sort of bringing information starts going. And that's why you find more women psychiatric home, or women have cancer, or they have what's this mental one where you forget stuff all the time, dementia, because the stress, because it has led to so many problems in their health system. Because imagine, you're running, Pastor, remember that picture that you showed to us as well, the one where the woman can't separate her feelings and her emotions, everything is together, which is this one. This is the woman, this is the man. He can separate his feelings. Women can't do that. You don't even have a choice. And one of the things that you mentioned, or one person mentioned on the program, somebody I think on the program mentioned, was that if a man is just allowed to have period, menstrual period for like 1 day a month, it's not like we're asking for the whole 5 days, or just 1 day a month. Maybe they can experience, because I've heard people say, but you can pray about it. You can pray about what? You're telling God to take back what He gave to you, tell God you're not good enough, because they don't want to do the work of accepting you the way that you are. So you're spending all this time changing who you're asking God, remove this menstrual. No, I'm sorry, but it's there for a reason. You've got to learn to adapt yourself. You've got to learn to, and they're going to have to, women need empathy. What women need is not somebody to be sitting there judging them or making them feel bad about the way they've been created. And the funny thing about life is men just want to sort of do this masculine, this egoistic, they want to be like, okay, I'm a man, I'm strong, you have to change yourself, come for me. But the thing is, God did not change the world by muscular strength. Jesus did not transform the world with strength, with his strength. God has strength now, but he still used love. So regardless of what we think that we have, or men feel, regardless of how they feel about, their opinion, I don't feel like liking the way she is, and then they move on to another woman. But you move on to another woman, she's exactly the same. They move on to another woman, she's exactly the same. They keep going around the circles. They're looking for the perfect woman. Good luck, but it doesn't work like that. Everyone has their own problem. Everyone has their own issues, and everyone has what they're dealing with in this life. So for me, it's just really, really funny, because I look at it and I think to myself that you have to learn to love this person as its lack of love. It just goes down again to the value system that's broken from scratch. If a man, there's no way a man would have been brought up with the understanding that you've got to love her, and you will not, or you've got to learn to respect every individual in their own way, and you grow up with the mindset that. But most men are brought up with this with this egoistic. It's not just in Nigeria, like I said, but it's just that it's more common amongst African Asian men because of the cultural backgrounds, because the world is changing. Imagine trying to behave like you're in 1960 in 2018. I'm sorry, but the world is changing, bro. They're leaving you behind. You've got to meet up. African men need to run. Asian men need to run and join the scheme, because it's not long. Women will not stay silent long enough. And the funny thing is, when we change the right now, when we adjust ourselves to the right now, nobody's saying you're any less than any person because you're not being regarded, or you're not being regarded just because you give respect. But the thing is, Pastor, over time, years after years, women have had to fight to get to where they went. They've had to fight for the right to vote, right to walk on the road alone without supervision, right to drive car, right. We've been fighting. And why is this? Because of that lack of love. And the thing is, the world is learning to embrace love now. And until people just run and join the wagon of love, they're going to be left behind. And it's just the saddest part. We're still going to be thinking, I am a man. And the thing is, the world's leaving you behind. We're going. Everyone's walking, and the women are making their own choices now. Women are, it doesn't make me less than a man. But it just really saddens me that women are becoming like men, just so they can exist in the world. And the thing is, we should learn to embrace the beauty of the difference.
But now, Elizabeth, anybody listening to us today would think that the review we are doing
is only about women.
Yeah, it's only about women. So they will think the review we are doing is only about women. But
yes, it's about women.
that shows that the reviewer is a woman. But
yes.
Also, it's not just that it's because the reviewer is a woman, but I remember when I was preaching this message, a lot of men got mad. Yes,
they will, Pastor, because the thing is, even though we are talking about differences between men and women, what they don't understand is, because Pastor, the emphasis is on the woman, because that's where the work needs to be done. That's where the work needs to be done.
But some men still think that they are the ones who have more challenges in life, because they are the breadwinner and they are the this and this, because they have not heard, because they have not listened.
Yes, Pastor, because they focus on external strength. Because the thing is, if you've not been taught to look at the strength within, you will not really understand the value of the strength within. Men see themselves as the stronger vessel, which is what they've been told that they are. So they believe that all the burden of this life is on their head. But I think this one, another picture I'm going to show you, Pastor, that you showed to us during the time we were doing the program, and it's this one here. It's I don't know if you can see it, Pastor. It's the one where the woman, this is the man. Can you see the external strength? But that's the woman. She's carrying a son.
Wait, bring it to the right. To the right. Yeah, that way, yes.
So she's carrying a daughter, a husband, a son on her back, probably his mother as well, carrying the entire family on her back.
Okay, go to the left. Make it to the left a little bit now. Yeah, okay. That way. So the lady is carrying everybody on her back, right?
Yes, Pastor.
I think that is the husband, the son, and what? The family.
And the husband, the son, and I want to say the mother. The husband's mother.
The husband's mother, okay. But the guy is enjoying life.
Look at him.
He is
standing
cool.
So strong.
He is cool.
He's the strongest.
He's trying to flex his muscles.
Yes, Pastor. And that is the mindset. That is the vision. What the world sees. That's what most men see when they look at the world. They think, I am the one. But the thing is, to be honest, like, they have all this muscular strength and stuff, and they can take the load off them. But the load is so funny because the women have been plagued so long that they don't even know that this strength is on them. They don't even understand it. Like, okay, I remember going to a conference once, and it's also what we remember. Pastor was saying, like, we become the product of what we follow, what we listen to. Like, I remember going to some sort of counseling one time, and okay, let me just put it like this. Okay, some churches, when you go to like what's it called, the marriage counseling session, they would say to you that the man is the one with the vision. The man is the one with the purpose. The man is the one with the focus. The man is the one that has all the baggage. You are here to support him. Make sure you support him. Then the man will be like, done, bam, yeah, take my baggage, bam. You are here to support me, so take my baggage. So why don't you take my baggage off me? So they immediately dump that baggage on them, and you find men that will be like, I heard this actually being said, and immediately I left that place. Not immediately. I went away and I thought to myself, I said, this is wrong. Something is definitely wrong here. And when I had the opportunity to speak to the pastor that said that comment, I said to him, sir, if I'm the one that was giving this counseling, not that I'm saying I'm better than you, sir, how can you speak to a pastor? But me, I stood up and I said something. I said, look, if I was the one giving this advice, pastor, this is what I would say. You, the man, you have a vision. Woman, you have a vision. Both of you have a vision. Now you have been put together because one can put 1,000 to fly, two can put 10,000 to fly. Both of you work together, encourage each other in each other's purpose, and fulfill each other's purpose. Encourage when you need to, where you need to. So you don't have to tell the man that he's the one with the vision and she's just here to assist him get there. And it's the mindset that is being created from generations to generation. If someone has been teaching you something long enough, you start to have this, that's why muscles are so swollen. That's where all the advice went to. Because that's where, and the thing is, women can multitask. Women multitask, and we branch into different areas of things in life. We have been built we are so, this nature of ours it has gone through so much. It has mentally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, pain-wise. Women go through so much. And that's why we can easily like communicate or understand feelings, when someone's going through something. And the thing is, this the world is changing. Like UK, for example, respecting the women. They didn't just happen overnight. Even in the same UK, women have to fight for stuff, to fight to get paid the same wage as men, or even more. Because women work more than them, if you do some research. And it didn't happen overnight. But they tailored themselves to understand that, wow, are we really cheating these women? Are we really not doing what God wants? Is there really the attitude of love? And it's something that you have to learn. You have to learn to embrace, but you can't say no to. You don't have a choice. And it's just so sad because if men understand the nature of women, then they'll be able to learn and sort of put into place sort of a system that glorifies each other's strength. It's nice that there's a balance somehow, that the man is more controlling of his emotions, because if both of you are losing all the time, it's kind of like, but the balance comes when you understand that, okay, I'm a man, I'm here to help. I'm not here to put that strength, that muscle, I'm not here to sort of, even God, in all of his array, in all of his glory, in all of his, majesty, it doesn't sit on our wheel. It tells us, and it just encourages our will. It gives us the guidance, and it just says, oh, I love you, do it. It doesn't enforce, it doesn't push, it doesn't use its strength on us and say, you must do this. Maybe God did that in the past, in the Old Testament, because sometimes when you read the Old Testament, you read the New, you'll be like, am I reading the same Bible? Maybe in the Old Testament, God was more like, but even at that, God never bypassed man. Even every time he was make a decision, it would still go through, like, for example, when he wanted to destroy Sodom, the land where Lot was living, he still spoke to Abraham.
Sodom and Gomorrah, yeah?
Sodom, we used Sodom and Gomorrah. Sorry, Pastor. And then, Sodom, I was thinking Jericho, Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm just mixing stories up. Yeah, and he still spoke to Abraham in the process. He will still go through man. He will never bypass man or bypass this human flesh to achieve what he wants to do.
I think you have a list as well there, right? Do you?
Yes, Pastor.
So how many have you mentioned in your list?
A whole presentation.
Yeah. Is there some points also there in the list that you want to mention?
Other points in the list?
Yes. What are the misconceptions? Did you call them misconceptions?
Yes, misconceptions against women.
Yes, about women, maybe not against.
Oh, sorry, Pastor, about women. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you saying I should speak on other things as well?
Just keep on mentioning them. Keep on mentioning them.
Okay, so other things are women trouble talk. Women trouble talking is a fact. Women trouble talk. This is one of the things I learned in watching the video as well. Is that women trouble talk with their husband, just to get attention. And a man should not get upset at this. And it's not because the woman wants to make trouble. It's because she wants you to understand that she's here. So sometimes when a woman trouble talks, a man immediately sees it as, like, because men, when they trouble talk to each other, they immediately means muscular, means fighting. It means you just want, that's immediately result, you just want to fight each other. But women, we trouble talk as just to make you soft-hearted. But a man that wouldn't say, okay, developed in that area, would probably see that as a threat and get upset at it. So, but men should not get upset when their wives talk like this. The woman is trying to basically just look for a way to get to you. So the eye is the gateway to the soul. It's something I also picked up from the series. When a woman is talking, she's communicating. She wants to communicate to your soul, and so which is very, very essential to keep eye contact when you're communicating with a woman, so that you understand, so you keep the conversation going, so she can trust, she can build your trust, and she can talk more to you. And then sometimes something that will take like lengthy period of time might even be a short period of time, because she's established that trust, and she knows that I can. It's okay. He gets the point. But if sometimes you can't see that the eye, you might be like, oh, he doesn't get it, and you might keep talking and talking and talking. Okay, so one thing that I've learned every time, as a woman as well, I was just saying that women need empathy, women need patience, and women need the love. And men really need to understand what love means, because I really feel like what's needed in the society is, a lot of men are just, I wouldn't say groomed. They're not, okay, they grow up and they just told, now go and be a leader. And the thing is, a lot of people don't even know what leadership means. I feel like a lot of men need to take leadership roles and then lessons before you can become a leader, because leadership is like, you need to go through leadership. You can't just become a team leader today or a leader today in your place of work without doing anything. You need to have gone through the prospective training. You need to go through the training that's expected of you for them to put you in that place of authority. Okay, so also another thing I learned is that women are not so simplistic as been portrayed over time. You need to learn to unravel the woman to the core, and for you to understand. So men, the difference between men and women is that one of the major things is men don't need all this unraveling. You can just speak to a man, and just get To the point, that's why, like, for example, in that scenario where a man and a woman got a divorce 20 years ago, 5 days later, maybe a year later, or a couple of months, the man is married already. The woman, 20 years, is still thinking about it. Because for him, it's easy for him to just move on. To just move on with his life, and as though nothing's happened. And you mentioned that he might remember it once in a while, but then he doesn't remember it all the time. So, okay, so one thing I just wanted to place Pastor Sunday for is some of the knowledge that you have provided over the time as well. So, those are the major lessons that I picked out from that. There's a lot more lessons. I don't know if I have the time.
I think what you have done is that you have only unraveled the net. Now you need to begin to talk about, mention the point, if you don't mind.
Yes.
But I will have let me first of all tell people what we are doing.
Yes,
what we are doing is we are reviewing a series that is now called Family Series. And in that family series, one of the topics that is there is the difference between men and women. The differences between men and women. And so that is the particular topic that Elizabeth has found to be very, very compelling or interesting to her. But in my own observation, I've noticed that she has paid all the emphasis on the differences of the lady. And so men will have a lot to learn from that. But in that teaching, actually, I was not just talking about ladies. Because
you was speaking about men as well. The reason why like I said, Pastor, my passion is for women. So the irony might be that I am speaking about women, and I'm talking a lot about women because that's what stood out for me. Learning about men is something you do. You learn a lot. The fact that you mentioned the 4 feelings that men feel, which is the 3 feelings, the ego, the anger, and the sex. Men have this desire for sex, they have the ego, and they have anger. These are the 3 feelings they have. Whereas women have so many branches. I feel like we've learned a lot about men already. I think it's enough we give some women we give the men a taste of what the women really, really are. And if you want to prove to love God, you need to show that you love this nature. Because sometimes I go on, like I said, I go on Instagram, social media, and I see women typing men as cons. And I feel like the only way that we can really understand this is because we need to understand each other's nature. So why it appears that I'm talking about a lot about women is because women sense emotions. Women sense emotion more easily than the men do. Women have these feelings, and we've been built up like this over time, and we know. I've seen women in marriages that would literally just become. I've seen. They'll keep, but once they get married, they don't have any more focus. That's all it is, like just me and my husband. But I feel like that's because some women, it's just that mindset that a better woman is a silent woman. Now, if you're a woman that's more outspoken, it's just, the thing is, and because of the woman has that understanding of what the men or what the society expects of her, she immediately just keeps to herself or, minds her own business. And it just really saddens me because that's not the way it should be. It's like, for me, the difference between men and women is it's the fact that men are more, more simplistic, whereas women are more complicated. And it's important that a complicated being is given an audience. I was watching an advert recently. It's the Twitter advert. It's the newest Twitter advert, and it's saying something. The lady said, a woman, she said, I have heard, the person that was speaking said, I have heard that a woman becomes, a lady becomes a woman the first time, the moment she speaks without permission. Why? Because it's a mindset. People actually do know that there's something going wrong. There's some sort of inequality. There is some sort of ego that women have to live up to match up to. Whereas if someone understands that these women, they're not just, they're more complex, but they are really, really soft-hearted and they respond to feelings and emotions, then a man would know how to live more peacefully with the lady, with that mindset. And that's, for me, is just like is the most beautiful thing in a relationship, whether it's between you friend, you and someone randomly, or you and your wife, is that you have this, you have built yourself, you're able to communicate emotions, because like I said, it's so much more the heart of God. Like, I think you were speaking on the love series recently. One of the 2 points that you mentioned was that when you talked about a lady and how God shows love to lady, you mentioned that God, for example, you used the example when Jesus was preaching in the temple and he saw the lady that was bent over and he stopped the whole preaching just so he can go straight in her heart. You know, and you talked, another example was when, for example, Sarah, she was told that she's going to have a child, and at what age, and she was laughing and like, yeah, that's right, and the angel departed. And Zachariah, on the other hand, God is like, you're going to have a son, and he laughed, and God made him like mute, like he couldn't talk. And that just showed to me that God just definitely understands the emotions that goes on in the heart of the woman. And for you to claim that you love God, you must learn to love this creature. Stop putting them down. I see a lot of things that are wrong on social media. The fact that, you know, for example, a woman stole biscuit on someone's store and they stripped her completely naked just because she stole biscuit. And I'm thinking, if I was a man, I'm sorry, but I probably think he can handle it. But a woman, it's like you're killing her. You're literally destroying her. And I feel like women break more often. Women break easily. But men don't understand that. And for me, from generations, it's been a thing of burden. And I must speak out. I think one of the things that this has led me to do is, as soon as I started listening, I started writing a book. And the book initially, I think I titled it, She Too Has a Purpose. But then I renamed it, I Am a Woman. Unapologetically, not sorry to anyone. I am a woman, and we must learn to face that.
But
and
I have a book that is called like that.
Oh, really?
My book is called Hooray, I'm a Woman.
Yes, exactly, Pastor. I didn't even know you had a book like that.
But it's not in English yet. It's not yet in English.
Sorry, Pastor?
It's not in English yet.
It's not yet in English. Oh, okay. Yeah, Pastor, that's it. That is just the most beautiful thing.
I was just about to ask you, on personal level, how has that teaching, this particular teaching on the difference between men and women, how has it helped you personally? Now, I can hear one. You said you've actually written a book or started writing a book. That's a huge one. So it means you have a product coming out of it. But are there some other ways or means that this has really helped you?
Pastor, I think at the time when your series came out, Pastor, I was going through a breakup. I was in a courtship at the time. And basically I had experienced, I was in a courtship and I was at the verge of getting married and everything. Ooh. But then your message came to me and I left the courtship, not because of you.
How old are you?
Pastor, at the time I was 25.
Maybe you shouldn't say it, I don't know. Are you okay to say it?
Yes, Pastor, I'm fine to say it. Okay. I'm 27 now, but at the time I was 25.
Okay, so do people still marry that earlier in the West?
Pastor, people marry as early as 20, 19, 18, so people 15. Depends on what culture, what nation you're from.
No, I'm talking of the West, like in England, where you live.
Oh yes, Pastor, people get married as soon as they believe that there's love existing here. They marry. I'll say, Pastor, I think one of the major things I wanted to also say about men and women is also the fact that how men and women define love, which is one thing that you are really highlighted in the show as well. That's why, like, you see a woman that will be in a relationship constantly asking the man, "Do you love me?" The man will be like, "I told you yesterday," and she will come tomorrow and be like, "Do you love?" This woman is annoying me. I told you I love you. But the thing is, when a woman says "I love you" to a man, she's actually saying, "I commit, I devote my entirety, everything that I am to you. I'm putting my head on you as if you're my safe place." But when a man is saying "I love you" to a woman, it's probably saying, "I'm sexually attracted to you, you're okay for me, I can marry you." That's it. But the woman is saying, and so the woman is expecting that what she's saying is what the man reciprocates to her and he gives to her on a mutual level. But the thing is, you know, the woman only comes to learn now that the man is not actually saying that over a period of time. And it's just so sad because both of them are communicating different things. And that's, again, is based on feelings, based on emotions, based on, the kind of upbringing, the value system, everything that has been displayed to a man and to a woman. For example, in Africa, I get a lot of boys that, maybe not boys, a lot of parents, dads that have never said to their daughter, I love you. Some parents are so afraid to say, I love you. They don't even say it. They don't say it in Africa. And the thing is, people say, but it's not a big deal. But the thing is, it is, because we're prophesying it. And when we prophesy it, we start acting like it. We're saying, this is what's inside of me. This is what I'm thinking of you. And then you start, but they don't really see it. So the only thing they probably know of love is this sexual sort of impact, the influence. Because, like I said, the women are being projected as this sexual being. And the guy, I've seen them from that perspective. Whereas the women are being projected as, there's a man coming to save you. Your Boaz is on the way. And the thing is, like, it's not. When it comes, you realize it's not Boaz. I think it was Prophet Adelaja who said that it is Boaz's brother. Boaz's brother. I think it's Boaz and Hosea who comes. It's not Boaz who shows up. And because you have this expectation, sometimes it breaks people in a wrong way. For me, it's like we have to learn to sort of master the act of what we say we are. We're pronouncing that we love, that we need to know what love really means. The way love needs to be defined. I feel like men really need a redefinition of, and for sometimes I think about it, and I think this generation, sometimes I feel like, oh, it's failed now. That's it. It's failed. The foundation has been destroyed. What can the righteous do? But what I can say then, I do say is, I thank God, at least for the generation to come, because at least now we know, and we can begin to put things in place. And that's why even the love series, everything you're talking about, love, needs to be fundamentally instituted into the educational system. Because when children are brought up with this mindset of love, when you grow up, you act like love. You don't start acting like you're not love. You know, I think I did a talk once, and I said, on that talk, I said that when I was 10 years old, I think, I heard a man saying that this is the problem of Nigeria, and he was complaining on TV or something like that. And I'm this old now, 27, and I still hear the same problem. That's because the foundation is destroyed. Because what was meant, so we have a chance to rewrite it. So, Pastor, when you were asking me about what are the other things that I'm doing in my life, one of the things that I want to do is I want to start up my own broadcast.
I want you to I want you to first of all finish what you are saying, that at the point when you are listening to this broadcast that you were...
I was going through, broken courtship at the time. Well, not broken. I was going through a courtship, but at the time I had a lot of things was going wrong, and
why did you make the guy to begin to listen as well?
Pastor, he was actually listening to you, which is the funny thing, Pastor. He introduced me to you, Pastor.
No.
But at the time, Pastor, he was only listening to what you were saying about the ego of the men. You know, you did a series about men, how men would like to be respected, men don't like trouble, men don't like stress, men like to be distressed, man wants to come back from work and sit down in front of TV, whilst woman wants to come back from work and talk. But the thing is, he only heard what he was saying about the men. He never, so all the videos he would share with me will only be the ones about the men. And for me, it was like, and he was listening, but he was extremely, extremely religious. This person was extremely religious. And so a lot of things that was going on, I would speak about...
and extremely selfish.
I try not to use the wrong word so that, there's a lot of high, but the thing is,
because if he's sending to you,
Pastor. So he didn't listen to the women or what was going on with the women, but he would listen to what you were saying about.
Sending to you only what the woman needs to do.
And this is what, for me, it's just so funny because we already know that. Thank God, we know, come on, okay. So what's new? Let's learn about men too. Women too. Come on. But the thing is, people in this life only pick and choose what they want to hear. They only hear. That's why, Pastor, when you're saying people are only saying you were speaking about women, because they only want to hear. It's like, if it doesn't, it's selfish. Okay, for example now, if a man defines love as as sex, right? What I can get. Although they think they're doing somebody a favor, but it's what I can get at the end of the day. It's always what I can get. Now, in that scenario, what you can get, if that's love, then when you feel like you have to give, it's too much work. You're telling me to give myself, Pastor, then you're telling them to give. No, they must receive. They must be receiving something. It must be, I must receive something. I must feel something. So for them, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't, and that's why for him, he can only think of his benefit. The plague, what's it called? called, the effect, the impact of, if he shows me the video that you're speaking about women, what would I say? Oh, will I start acting a certain way to him? They don't want people, it's just the irony of life, Pastor. And it doesn't surprise me at the time finding out that what you were saying about women. And really, for me, it really helped me to become more confident and to embrace the fact that I'm not crazy, or that I'm not, there's nothing wrong with the fact that when I watch TV and I see a woman being treated incorrectly, it stands out to me that that's wrong. It's not that I am systematically or I am the devil's advocate. It's the fact that I know that something is wrong here and I identify with that, and I need territory. This needs to become more safe. Even the church is not safe for the woman. Because I remember, one lady that I spoke to when I was going through some of these challenges, and what she said to me was, that's what we women put up with. That's what we put. You just have to learn to put up with it. And you cannot be talking. You have to understand there's a man here. And I was thinking to myself, but something is wrong. He needs to get spoken to. But no one was willing to say, we'll speak to him. Let's see what we can do. Sometimes you feel like the church is not the safe place. Because people will be like, someone said to me that you have to make him your project. Try and change him. And I thought to myself, I don't want to make anybody my project. I need someone to make me their project. But I want to be somebody's project. And it's not selfish. It's just the fact that it's really killing and draining when you're the only one that's giving, and you're not receiving. You just become dry. You just become dead on the inside, and you're like feeling insecure, inadequate, incomplete. And it's just really, really sad. And I just thought to myself that, Pastor, that something needs to be done. So in regards to that, I want to set up my own talk show. And I think a lot of times the things that has limited me, and I'm speaking about it now, is sometimes culture, what people will think. People will say like, she's speaking about women, people are like, she's single, she will never marry. People are easy to, but the thing is, if I really cared about that in the past, I want to say I don't care anymore. So I'm thinking about starting up my own show so I can talk more about these things, this passion of mine for women, and also speak to men that, like I said, it's not as if we're saying get rid of. No, the men are amazing. That's why I told you that woman I spoke to, the successful one, she said that the men in her life encouraged them. I just want men to understand that the muscular strength that God has given to them is not to oppress, but to encourage the other party involved. He has to be two. I remember one of my friends get married, and I spoke to him, and I said to him, I encouraged him, I said, look, it's only by the grace of God that you are the man, and that means that you are the strength, you are you're able to sort of control your emotions. You can control what you're going through. Now, what I'm going to say to you is, the woman, she has so much going on, and you're going to have to thank God you are the man. Thank God you have the grace to control that. Be wise, be wise, and encourage both parties. Utilize the strength that she has. Help her to become successful. In our nature, like, don't get discouraged. Like, cause you see some men that like, that woman she's in a place of she has a PhD. She's working hard. She doesn't respect people. They just mean it. They're like, she cannot respect a man. The man should not marry her. You see, they'll be like, oh, woman is like 30, works, earns her own money, has her own house. She's not a good woman. She will never respect. I mean, the thing is, it's really a plague. It's a disturbing mindset over time that has been built up concerning women. And I feel like it's high time that somebody did something and spoke out about this. And obviously, I can't do it alone. So, women, we're encouraging each and every one of us. Like, it's important. When we see you doing, because you see women that will even be the ones encouraging it, Pastor. Women that have gone through, but like I said, Pastor, sometimes we don't even know something is wrong. We don't know because we've built to accept it.
You broke up with this guy.
Yes, Pastor. I spoke to you, Pastor. I remember it was my first time, listening to you, and I just thought to myself, but I don't know. I think it was my thought exactly was, blood and flesh has not revealed this to you. There's no way in this world, Pastor, that you could have just hacked your brain one morning and said, "Damn, I realized the trick to women." No, Pastor, I know you did your research. I know you must have spoken to women. I know this is a burden in your heart as well. I knew it was a passion. And I thought to myself that this is the best person at the moment to encourage me, because everybody I spoke to at the time was just either looking for a way to manipulate me to stay in that relationship or to encourage me because of, just so I don't lose what they think I have and what I thought I had, and fear, everything sort of limited me. And I wrote to you, I think I wrote you like a long page, and you replied me. And I was shocked. I was like, wow. And that was in 2016, November, I think it was, or October, or one of the both. And I spoke to you, and I really, really, and you wrote to me, and you encouraged me to pray about things. You didn't exactly say don't do it or do it. You just gave me some light, literally. And for me, it was like, wow. And I remember going back and praying, and God was saying to me that God has already given me the answer, but I was trying to look for another answer. So I already knew in my heart that, okay, Elizabeth, God is saying no, so why are you trying to force it? Don't let culture limit you. Don't let people's thoughts of what they would think of you, because people will think of you as a bad woman, especially when you leave a courtship. They'll be like, what's wrong with, it's bad. Like, it comes, but for me, it wasn't bad. I felt glorious. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Then I literally went through the healing phase, and I was like, I bounced back. And I was saying to myself that I don't want to make the same mistake, but no one's perfect. So let's not even speak.
What about this guy? After you broke up, did he continue to listen to me, or he also broke up with me?
I don't actually. I think for a while he listened, and I think there was one of the programs, the series that you did, and you spoke about the mother-in-laws in there. And then I remember I made a comment, and I remember he sent me a message saying, so I don't know if he still follows you. To be honest, Pastor, I don't really know. But I hope wherever he is, that he becomes a better man for whoever he does marry.
You should be seeing him on the platform, isn't it?
Pastor?
Don't you see him on the platform anymore?
I'm not longer friends with him on Facebook, so I don't really know what he's up to. I think it's not right when you break up or you delete them, no. But I think for me, I did it because of my safety. I did not feel safe, so it was a lot of blocking everywhere. So sometimes when you need to be safe for your own mental and for everything else around you, you kind of pull away. So there were reasons why I blocked him, and I had to. So sometimes you have to be wise in your choices. It's not good to, like you said, kill off somebody. But sometimes you have to make that decision for yourself. Be selfish in that decision. So I think, after that, I think kind of just, I don't know if he still follows you, Pastor, but I hope he does. And I hope he listens to some of these things that you say. But I because he was very religious, I've seen a few things that he is still as religious. I don't think anything has changed, Pastor, and I don't think he follows you. So if that's the answer, I don't think he does. But that's up to him, and that's individual choices. Everyone's growing. So, Pastor, yes, you really helped me, Pastor, and I'm grateful to you, Pastor. And on behalf of all the women on this platform, and at the time that was going through anything, I remember there was a lady on the platform at the time who said that she just divorced her husband. And I remember she was saying that she was in a marriage. She was 8 months pregnant, about to go into labor, and she was still 9 months pregnant or something. She was still standing on her feet, cooking or something like that. And I just want to say that a lot of women were relieved during that. I'm speaking on because I know, because when you're listening, you know. And I just want to say thank you, Pastor, because of myself alone. I'm very grateful that you even responded my email, because that gave me the encouragement I need to face the truth. The truth shall set you free. And it set me free, Pastor. So I went into a safe place. So I'm grateful to God for you, Pastor. And I realized that you soon move on quicker, Sometimes you feel like all this pressure piles up and you're worried about people and you're worried about what people... But the thing is, you realize that if you die today in that marriage, everyone will keep living their life like nothing happened. That's just the reality. It's just... I remember growing up in Nigeria, I'm just going to quickly share this, and a woman was beaten by her husband the day before the wedding. He beat her so badly because he said that she used his money to buy a car. And that was the story. I was only about 8 years old then. And I remember the story, all of the people in the plot went over to their house. And do you know they were still begging this man to marry her? Pastor, like he beat her so badly. And they were still begging him to go with the wedding tomorrow. And I in my heart, I think that was when I said that right from when I was young, maybe that's what triggered it. For a young girl seeing that. But to be honest, I always kind of knew. But for me, maybe that was the height of it.
Did they really?
The next day, they carried cars. Cars were around him. They surrounded the whole plot. They got married. They did the wedding. I don't know if she's still alive. But the thing is, that woman, if he kills her tomorrow, life will continue, even if she dies in her marriage. Something I urge women like, look, don't trade your peace for marriage. Marriage is not the end of the world. It's not. And for me, I was like, I don't even care if I ever marry anymore. There are things in this life. Sometimes standing up for truth makes you realize that you become more confident in yourself. You feel like, I want to do more of this. Not just for myself. I don't want to selfishly do it for me. But for there are people going through this who can't come out. And I want to tell them that it's okay. I went through it. Look, I'm okay. Like, do I look like I've been through anything? And that's the thing we need to encourage that. Sometimes when you come out, you bring peace back. Like I said, my brain, like, I used to forget things. Everything's coming back to normal now. Look at me, I'm talking sense. And before, sometimes even ordinary constructing sentences can be quite hard for me because I was under stress. I had ulcer. I was moving towards a place of depression because I was going through a lot. And I was thinking, I'm not even married. These are just acute things that I experienced. This is like a taster of what I will experience when I actually get married. And I realized that a lot of people would still go into this marriage because of the pressure, because of the culture, because of the people around them. They would never be able to come out and say, look, I don't want to do this, because family will put that pressure. They would say to you, don't be a bad woman. You will hear the story, but no one will stand up to the guy and speak because, look, he's the head. And for me, that's why it looks like I'm speaking more for the women, because it's true. It's the women that needs this sympathy. Not sympathy, empathy. It's women that needs this empathy.
So from listening to the teaching and from everything you've said,
yes,
will you say I have done justice to the cause of the woman, to stand for the woman and to support the woman? Do you give me credit? Do you think I've done a good job? Or it's not good enough?
Okay, Pastor, I'm just going to try and look at my notes of what I wrote in that aspect. I said, Pastor, from generation to generation, without being able to separate the difference between pastors, I've been trying they will do marriage counseling. People, I know that this is like, people don't understand the value of the video, Pastor. You have done so much. You've not just stood up. You've not just stood up, you've heard women. People don't listen to women. They talk too much. That's the plague that has been placed on them. You opened your ears, Pastor. You heard the cries of the heart. You went inside and you brought out the pain and you talked about it so confidently. This is like, people are afraid to talk about divorce. Like I said, divorced people are looked as, because of that plague that is attacked. There's nothing wrong with being divorced. It's not the best because God doesn't like it, because He understands the pain, probably in the hearts of the daughters. But it didn't mean that you not do it. People are in bad relationships because they're afraid of their, And Pastor, what you did was you stood up and you spoke straight. You spoke straight about this. And for me, it really was like an eye-opener. To see a man, Pastor, you see a lot of women that have tried to talk about this, incorporate it into your incorporation, like, because they don't want to face the criticism. They don't want people to say, how can you say that, you should be talking about the role of a good woman and the role of a good man, which is the normal. They'll call conferences and they'll be discussing the role of a good man and the role of a good woman. But Pastor, you did justice. And I have this feeling with preachers like you, Pastor, there's justice in the future. There's justice. I can live, I can sleep, die with the mindset that there's going to be justice in the future. I'm not afraid, but with the preachings that are going on at the moment, the mindset, the value system that's been instilled, and what people will still pass on to their children, I have this mentality that, this is why I said I encourage everyone to watch this series. Everyone needs to watch this series, Pastor, because you really, really helped us to understand the strength that what the women have on the inside. You made it look like, for example, when we were talking about women doing 5 things at the same time, like she's buying something, she's like, oh, John, don't fall off there, and she's like, oh, husband, did you, and she's still talking, she did so many things, and you looked at them and you saw there was strength. In my workplace, they have this thing where they like, they'll try and sort of look at you so that they know your strength, and they know that you're strong in this area, they'll put you in this area, like they'll encourage you, they'll like, you need to grow and to get to this place because we've noticed that you are quite a bit of a talker, they'll be like, oh, you're good at doing this system, using the system, would like you to take over, take ownership. Like, they will encourage you because they know that you are good at multitasking. But some people will look at that and be like, that why that's too much. Like, I mean, and we need to learn to appreciate the strength. And that's what you've done. But people would see it in a negative light because it's showing, Pastor, anything that requires change, anything that requires work, usually does feel like this sometimes. It feels like it is like the person is a bad person, because you get some workplace where even black men, I still love black men. I'm going to use one black man example that I work with. Anytime that there's change, like there's always something like, oh, these people are coming in, and it's just that mindset. Little change, not to talk of something that is drastic to your entire everything that you've been taught your entire life about women. So, Pastor, that's why I said I just want to say a big thank you. And the fact that you use this thing called the classroom setting, you use a lot of pictures to emphasize the training. You were really wise. I think there was one that you even said you did yourself just to show, because you were looking for a picture that would depict what you're trying to say, but you couldn't find it. So you created your own. And so, Pastor, the pictures made it look like it was in a classroom, and it did not look like it was boring class. It was one of those classes that you want to go all the time, and you're like looking forward to that teacher's class because you know that teacher makes you, it makes it alive, lively, it makes it fun, entertaining. It relates it to itself, it relates it to the people in the class. He allows you to express yourself. It's not you're just coming to church, you pray, the pastor preach, you go home. No, you made it interactive. Everyone's opinion counts, and that's what I'm looking for. Pastor, you answered, you showed, you displayed, you demonstrated what I was looking for in the world of today. A world where the woman's voice is not in the background. You know, a world in Nigeria where the woman's voice is not, but it's been heard, it's been valued as strengths, are being looked at as strengths and not weaknesses, and not negatively, because we look at it negatively. You know, Pastor, and I look at my story sometimes and I feel sorry for myself. I'm like, but then that's the thing, don't feel sorry for yourself. So then anyone on the platform is going through a breakup, even small breakup self can damage somebody, not to talk of a relation, a marriage, or you know, the thing is, if you're going through that, I always say to myself one thing: if you look at yourself as an individual, you will be selfishly thinking your problem is negative. You'll be thinking, oh, it is concerning me, it's happening to me. It's not happening to you, it is happening for the world. You're a piece on that puzzle board. You're just a piece, you fit in. And you need to find glory in your negative, in what you think is negative. It's actually beauty. It's the most valuable thing that you are holding on to. So you need to understand that, look, this, my experience, it's so I can bring somebody else. It's so that I can encourage somebody else. So I think for me, I've stopped. I'm not going to feel, I've refused to feel sorry for myself that I've been through, or I'm going through, or I went through. You know, I'm just learning from everything, even though sometimes it's not good. Like, you know, I remember speaking to you once, Pastor, and you said, but it's not good to always go through, only experience. It's true. But the thing is, that's why I encourage people to learn from other people's experiences. Because when it's just experience, sometimes you might have damaged to the point where there's no going back. You know, so it's encouraging that people should listen. I encourage everybody on the platform, go back to the differences between men and women. It not only just teaches you about, you know, men and women, or it teaches you about love in general. Because you'll be thinking that some men will be like, this is so much work, oh, Pastor. This is like, I remember the men were writing on the show, Pastor, this is so much work, oh, why did God make them like this? Why did God make the women like this? But the thing is, God is, the women are wondering, why did God make men like this? Everyone's wondering, why did God make men like this? Why couldn't God just, but God said he wants us to love. Because if God can love us, men think they're perfect, women think we're perfect, but God, we're all of us here. If God's saying even the best of the best that we can show to each other is like filthy rags, how much more does he actually have to put up with when it looks at us?
I would like yes, you wanted something?
Then I was gonna say that that's why God would look at us and think, these stupid creatures, let my son go and die for them. In the midst of it, because he loves us. He knows that we are sinful, we are terrible, but he knows that there's nothing we can ever do that's righteous enough to save ourselves. But he just thought, my son, at least let him go.
I would like to say, frankly speaking, I will confess to you that you're right in the sense that that series is actually one of the most important series out there. And it's one of the most important series that I've done, and that is a series that I will always be grateful to God for, that I made available So that's why, as a matter of fact, I had to add all the other teachings on the woman, on family together. So now it's called Family Series, the Family Series.
Yes, Pastor.
And I would like to encourage everybody.
I watched that one as well. There's a lot about children, bringing up children in the home. You talked about the age groups, the 6 to 8 years old, the 4 to 5 years old. You talked about the different the age groups, and that's very, very fundamental because when people watch this thing and they're like, oh, most African parents are like, where's the king? Whereas, every time, but you taught them a lot about, bringing your child up without even smacking. There was so many things to learn from the family series. It's not just about men and women. It's even about raising your kids in the way that you look at them as individuals. You respect them. You don't, I brought up, this one of my babies, I want to say, she literally grew up. She thought I was her mom growing up. And, I remember she was I think 10 months old. We and her can converse. We can have communication in a way that I look at her like she's just an individual. I let her do her own thing. And, I learned to respect them. I think one story that I shared one day was one baby that I was taking care of once. And one day I was feeding her. I wanted to go and do something. I just wanted her to eat. And I was going to drop her somewhere and then go somewhere. And then one day, that day I was rushing, and I fed her, and she was taking for long. I was like, oh my God, please eat. So as soon as I was like, okay, let me just put in her mouth. So as I put in her mouth like this, she just opened her mouth and started crying. As she opened her mouth, Pastor, I saw that her whole mouth was full with food. She hadn't finished the one I gave her before. And my heart that day, Pastor, it was shattered. I felt like so broken because I was like, she was trying to communicate. When I was giving her, she was like, she was trying to say something. That I'm not full, I've not eaten the one in my mouth yet. Everybody needs to be respected. That's something when you portrayed in. I respect a 5-year-old, and I feel like I can learn from 5 years old just as I can learn from an 80-year-old person. I look at everybody, and that's the mindset we should have. But we have this KBSC syndrome in our Nigerian mentality. We have so many syndromes that are disturbing us that we need medicine for, but yet we are struggling to accept change, and that is the most, Pastor, the problem with the men, it's not even a 1% problem or a race. It is a systematic problem. It's affecting even our governments. Even the government, it's affecting the government because they don't want to accept change. I think it was Hillary Clinton who went to Nigeria a couple of years ago. I think it was when Yar'Adua was the president in power. And she literally was chased back to America. She had to go because the men there, they put so much pressure on her. They were talking about she did not respect. I was just laughing like, oh my God, it's this bad. Hillary Clinton had to leave Nigeria because it was the way that she was being treated. Everything that she was suggesting, everything literally was they were looking at her because she's a woman. It's just this thing that you're not enough, you're not complete as long as there's no. And I was thinking why she wasn't married or why and it's just this stigma that, and for me, it just needs to change, Pastor.
You have put so much fire on people today. You have to start your own live broadcast or live show or whatever you're going to call it. Because
yes,
you have so much energy and so much fire and so much to say to the world. It will be too painful if you keep that all to yourself.
I'm looking forward to doing that. I want to start up a project called the Treasure Project. And I'm going to be bringing up a lot of people that have gone through bad things in their lives, what the world describes as negative, so they can talk about it. It's not just the positive that we want to hear. The positives are good, but what yielded that positive? Obviously, you went through something. So I want people to come and talk about that. So it's something I'm looking into doing, Pastor. And
so beautiful. So that is Elizabeth Aina. Aina is her name. And in the next for 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes, we are going to come back for live broadcast for the Love series. You've done a good job. I can't wait to see your own live shows. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to have you on my own live show.
all the women are applauding you today. You spoke for them and you spoke well.
Happy Women's Day tomorrow, ladies. Bye.
Yes, and congratulations, by the way. Happy Women's Day to you and to all the ladies that are there.
Thank you, everyone. God bless.